Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Saturn Return Diaries podcast. My name is Courtney. If you're new here, welcome back to season two. I have no plan on what season two is entailing, but we're here. I felt the call all day to start recording again. Don't know when this is going to go out. Don't have much of a plan, as I said, but you know what is really cool? If you're seeing me in video format on our YouTube channel, or I think on Spotify now lets you see a little bit of video, I have a really cool background and I'm proud of myself for that because I figured out how to do it. Anyway, just for context, it's 8:42 p.m. on Tuesday, March 28th. And I just, like I said, felt the call to record. So this is going to be a episode starting us off for season two. Something that I do want to mention is I know I put out like an in-between episode and I was like, things are going to be a little bit different in terms of like how I'm bringing out content. And that's still very true. Something that I'm really learning right now in like content creation world and like having businesses and like doing all these things is it's like, okay, it's great, Courtney, that you're a manifesting generator and you want to do all these things, but like, what is the realistic, how much can you actually do, you know? And like do it well and also still take care of yourself. So I'm working with that. But basically, it's just sort of some housekeeping of what is coming up. Um yeah, and if you have been listening to the podcast and you don't follow me on Bravely Beautiful brand, that is like my main business baby. Saturn Return Diaries is a arm or a branch off of that. And it was something that I was really excited to create in Leo season last year, actually. And I was like, let's just do it. And I freaking love podcasting because I love just chatting with people. And it's also important to like verbalize and get things out. And obviously, I love astrology. So here we are. Now, for those of you who've never been here before, for some chance, maybe you're just finding this. Hi. Maybe go back to the beginning and start again because, as I said, we're going to start off season two. And basically, this is a podcast where I interview people who have been through their Saturn return, who are going through their Saturn return. Your gal is almost finished her Saturn return. So I've been going through it. And that is why this birthed into the world. Cause I was like, I want to know like what people experienced and what were they going through. And there's still so many questions I have to people and I want to like hear their stories. And from that point on, we are kind of at this place of like, okay, season one was done literally in December. And now we're moving into April 2022. And so it's been a while, but you know, this is just how things work out. So if you've seen today's episode, it is all about you can be mad at Saturn. Yes. And this is just coming straight from my heart because I felt the desire to plug in my microphone and just literally sit here and record an episode. There's not a lot of great lighting, blah, blah, blah. It's like, who gives a shit? Just do what you got to do. It's Aries season as I'm recording this. So that was maybe Aries talking. Anyway, I digress. Today's episode is about you can be mad at Saturn. Now, for those of you who've already been through your Saturn return, maybe you're having a chuckle. If you're currently in it, maybe you're also having a chuckle. But I like to think that I channel Saturn during these sessions. Ooh, Saturn sessions. And, you know, Saturn obviously is about hard work, determination, boundaries, resistance, so many things, which in next week's episode, we're actually going to talk about Saturn moving through the houses. So you can get a little bit more of an indicator of what, this might look like in your own personal life at the moment. But what do I mean by you can be mad at Saturn? Literally, I mean what I say. You can be mad at Saturn. I have heard that in my mind all freaking day today. And here's why. I feel like I have been on this monumentous climb. Literally, if there was a Mount Everest in my life for the last 2 years, I freaking climbed it. Okay. Actually, 4 years, to be honest, because I feel like I've been putting in so much work. I've had these big dreams, big ideas, big ambitious goals. And I feel like I've been climbing and climbing and climbing. And like, of course, everything in life is a climb. Shout out Miley. And at the same time, there's obviously like pits and valleys that happen on that climb where you kind of have to deal with, I guess, the I don't even know what you would call that, but just like the healing part, for example, like it's not always about like the grind going up. Like there's moments where you have to integrate as well. And so obviously like this is not a foreign concept to people, I think. Like it's pretty common. This is what happens in life. But I just feel like I've been on this climb and it's felt sometimes it gets really to a point where I'm like, how much more do I have to friggin' hike? Okay. Now look, I like hiking. And also, I'm not afraid of hard work. And I do like challenges. And I also believe that if you're choosing the easy route, it's not necessarily going to get you to where you want to go. Again, that's really Saturn. I am a Saturnian person. I have a lot of Capricorn and a lot of Aquarius, which is both ruled by Saturn. Now, the thing is why it's frustrating is it's because I've literally been on this climb and it's like, dude, I'm freaking tired. My resources are limited. What else do you want me to do here? And so today, I've just heard all day, you can be mad at Saturn. And I feel like maybe someone else out there needed to hear that. And if you're like, I'd like to blame a planet, sure, go ahead, blame the planet. It's not really about that because I know there's some skeptics out there that, oh, here they go again. The astrology girls just blaming the planets for their. It's like, can we just cut this shit for a second? Like, you know what? This, as above, so below, okay? Experiences in life, whatever's happening in the cosmic world can also happen down here. And Saturn likes to make things difficult. Why? Because he teaches us the rewards that come from patience, diligence, for putting in the work and effort and in holding the line. Literally, Saturn has been in Aquarius. Hold the line is a common statement we've been hearing during Saturn in Aquarius. So obviously, if you're going through your Saturn return, it's going to look different for everyone, which is why I created this podcast. So then that way we're not all being like, oh my God, I'm so like scared and doomed. The common theme that I've heard from other people is like, it's the best thing. Like, it's just so good for you to move through it, get to the other side. And obviously, there's going to be more experiences in life where things are tough and challenging. But you can be freaking mad at Saturn sometimes. Like you can, okay? You can. Here's your permission slip because I got it today, so I'm sharing it with you. Now, something else that I actually feel like kind of just, I guess, plugging in here is that there, actually, you know, it's a great example. You know that sound that's been going around by Kim Kardashian? No one wants to work, or whatever she said. It's interesting because I think that like that's a whole other topic, but like, what am I trying to say? The things that she was saying, like in a sense, it's like very patriarchal. Like, no, get your ass up and work. That's what it was. And it's like, yes, people have to have like some sort of stamina, some sort of drive. But to what freaking point? Like, to what point? You know what I mean? When does it become enough? And Saturn is like, I'll tell you when it's enough. So I don't know how I just pulled all that in there, but hopefully that made sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that it's annoying and it's frustrating and it's infuriating when you're being asked to climb this boulderous mountain without getting to your perceived destination and feeling tired and exhausted and like when does it get to be over? Like, it is challenging. And Saturn asks you to put in that work, time, effort. Like, he knows the delayed gratification is very Saturnian. You're not going to see the rewards of what you've created until you've held that line, until you stayed strong and proved yourself that you had the strength and resilience and capabilities to actually stay in line with your soul. And as empowering as that is, it's also frustrating, and it's okay to be angry at Saturn. So, again, like, if you've never listened to this podcast or you don't know anything about astrology, this might be going over your head. So I do suggest going back to the beginning. But like, Saturn is the planet that says, hey, like, you're going to be in this for the long haul. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And unfortunately, it's going to be like literally like a marathon. I've never ran a marathon. I've done 10K races before, but it's challenging. Like, it's a mental game. You know, you got to go, you're basically proving your strength and you're growing. And something that actually Nadia, the founder of Icaria, who she said on one of the podcasts episodes that we did, was, I think her quotation was, what am I bringing with me post Saturn return? And what am I leaving behind pre Saturn return? Which is such a great way to start off season 2. Because if we think of that, it's like, what are we leaving behind and what are we bringing forward? And personally, for me, as someone who is just finishing up her Saturn return, or like I'm on the tail end, still there, I'm literally questioning this. And I'm literally being like, hey, what am I leaving behind? What's not coming with me post Saturn return? And what is coming with me? And honest to God, I feel like a completely different person. I keep saying that. And I think over the last couple of days, I've really had time to just like sit and think about this. And I'm like, wow, like, what just happened? You know, like, obviously, all of us in the past 2 years have been through things. But for those of us who have had our Saturn return during a global freaking pandemic, I mean, how on brand is that? Saturn and freaking Aquarius, global pandemic, of course, very on brand. But we've been through it. And this was where our Saturn is and was. And it's felt restricting. It's felt isolating. It's felt digital. It's felt surreal. It's felt life changing. It's felt life altering. It's felt very alien like. And there's also been a lot of, I mean, it's just wherever your Saturn is in your chart, you're being shown that there is restriction here. You can only get so much because it saves up, like the Bank of Saturn asks you to put in the work now so you can reap those rewards later. Now, obviously, for everyone, we've been experiencing this differently, but I'm just going to speak for myself. And, you know, like I said, I felt like I've been climbing a mountain. I felt like my strength has been, I didn't even know I had this much grit or strength in me. Had no clue. Please let me know on Instagram below if you can relate to this because I'm just like, wow. I mean, wild. So I think even regardless if you were just going through a Saturn return or not, like you can be angry at Saturn because he's been restricting you in some area of your life. And that's the area of your chart that rules Aquarius because that's where it is right now. So if you feel like you've been like, it's like the nail on the chalkboards. If you feel like that, oh boy, thank you, Saturn. Thank you. So anyway, here's your permission to slip to say you can be mad at Saturn. I too am a little angry at Saturn. And that's totally okay. It's part of the process. It's going to be something that does eventually get easier from what I've heard. And even like in my own life as well, like with my chart, I'm like, wow, okay, I've started to feel like things have gotten a little less heavy. Of course, there's still lessons. Of course, I'm like slowly like crawling out of this. But again, like there are aspects of it that are getting easier. Or maybe not even getting easier. Maybe I'm getting stronger. But no, they say that's super lame, but I just did it anyway. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. And just a reminder that, like I said a million times, you can be angry at Saturn. And you can also be stoked and proud of yourself for the lessons it teaches you at the same time. Like it doesn't have to be one or the other, but you can have days. Be like, yes, I'm very Saturnian today. Like I'm putting in the work. I'm proud of myself, blah, blah, blah. And you can also be like, come on, Saturn. Like I'm pissed at you. Like, can you just lay off the horn for a second, please? Both are possible and keep that in mind. And I'm really excited to talk more about this podcast and what I have in store for the next season. My sort of vision for the next season, and by season, I'm loving this concept because in content creation, when you're creating literally on every single platform, I heard these people say this actually. They were like, if you break things down into seasons, it's going to give you time to rest. And that is what I want with this podcast. So I'm hoping again to have obviously a bunch of people come on and I want to hear more of their stories. But I also feel like I'm going to have there's going to be some different things. So like bear with me. I'm excited about it. You can always follow me on Instagram at Saturn Return Diaries, where it's been a little inactive. Okay. That's okay. I'm getting ready to kind of rebrand it a little bit, but come over there because I'll update you on things. If you want to keep up with me personally more often, it's Bravely Beautiful brand where I offer astrology readings. I teach astrology, have different courses. I have different options to work with me and connect over there. And then on my personal page at I am Court Burns, that's like a behind the scenes life stuff where it's chaotic as shit. Okay. But like, we're here for it. All right. Anyhow, we're going to leave it there. Those are the places you can find me. This is the beginning of the season. I'm super stoked. Okay. Might be lower energy, but today's episode was all about you can be pissed at Saturn if you want to. Like, let yourself be mad. It is okay. Okay. And you'll move through it when you're not mad anymore. It's fine. Saturn's like Big Daddy. Big Daddy Saturn. If you're not angry at your parent once in a while, they're probably not doing something right. Okay? You're probably not learning your lesson. Just saying. Okay. Anyway, let's finish it off there. I'm just checking right now to see what degree Saturn is at. So Saturn's currently at 21 degrees of Aquarius. Means it has 9 more degrees to go until it gets to the end. It still has a while. It moves slow. So if you're someone who has your Saturn in Aquarius, look and see where your Saturn placement is, what degree it's at. And then ask yourself, okay, how far away is the current Saturn and my Saturn? For example, my Saturn is at 0 degrees Aquarius and now it's at 21 degrees. She long gone, but Saturn is still cruising through my 12th house of isolation, retreat, being to be alone. And we'll talk about that at a different time because I'm going to do Saturn through the houses next. But until then, friends, I think we're going to leave it there. I just wanted to give a quick little shout out and remind you that you can be pissed at Saturn. It's totally okay. All right? See this background behind me? That's how we feel. If you can't see the video, it's all good. Don't worry. You can come over to the YouTube channel, Saturn Return Diaries on YouTube. Definitely rate and review. Send me updates. What do you guys want to hear? What stories do you want to hear? Are you interested in hearing like groups of people come on and talk? Do you like the one-on-ones? Do you like when I riff? Please tell me what you'd like because I'm prepared to sit here like this and just give it, okay? Anyway, that is all for me today. I will talk to you guys later. See ya on the other side. Don't forget, Saturn's always listening and you're allowed to be pissed. It's okay. Okay. Bye, everyone.